Having the ability to compute loops makes many programs that we write a lot easier. For example, remember the question answer program from the last chapter where we had 3 tries to try to guess the computer that played on Jeopardy. There we had to have a fairly long string of if, else ifs, and even nested ifs to try to cover all the different possibilities. With looping, it's quite a bit easier, and for this first exercise, we're going to rewrite that question and answer program with the while loop. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is create a couple of variables. So we're going to create an answer variable. It's Watson. We're going to create a variable for our response that the user is going to enter. We'll set that to empty string. We have a variable for the number of tries the user makes. We'll set it initially to 0. And then finally, we'll create an input scanner object. Now we're ready to begin the loop. So the first thing we're going to do is say while tries is less than or equal to 3. First thing we do is prompt the user to enter the name of the computer that played Jeopardy. Then we get their response. We'll use next line in case they enter a 2-word answer. And then the very first thing we do before any checking is to increment tries by 1. Now there's several different ways we can go with our if statement. Let's go assuming that the user gets it right on the first try. So we'll say if response equals Watson. Then we want to tell them that they're right. So we're going to system out print line, that's right. And because we don't need to do anything else and we're ready to just completely stop the program, we're going to use break right here. Now we're going to say if tries is equal to 3. That will be their last try. And we'll say system out print line, sorry, the answer is Watson. And then a break. And I see I forgot to do one thing right here. Forgot to close off this if, so let's add that in real quick. And then we'll say else. This else is for when they didn't get the answer right, but they still have some tries left to make. So we'll say sorry, try again. And that's all we have to do. So we'll close that, close the while loop, and then close the program. So let's compile and save and see if it works correctly. JavaC Chap 9 Part 8 is the name of our program, .java. So we'll say deep blue, sorry, try again, let's get it right on the second try, that's right. So let's run it again. This time we'll say Bob, that's wrong, we'll say Ed, and then we'll say Watson, and that's right. Now let's get it wrong all 3 tries. Bob, Ed, Jane. The only one we didn't try was getting it right on the 3rd try, so we'll give that a shot real quick. Deep blue, Bob, Watson. So those are all the possibilities. So see how structured and clean the program looks by being able to use loops instead of just if statements. It's clearly a more efficient way to program, and that's why looping is so important to your programming skills, is that just about every program you write will include a loop of some type. And you need to understand the different strategies used, when to create them, and how to create them. So now let's move on to our next exercise where we're going to look at the calculator program again, this time also using a while loop.